Your fears, incompletions, insecurities, nothing is needed for you to exist. Paramashiva alone is enough for you to live absolutely, blissfully, celebrating, fulfilled, complete, intensely. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda. 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 Paramashivoham.
Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadhilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam to all the viewers, every one of you that have joined with us on YouTube, Facebook, and various other social media platforms live.
Today we are going to explore into a very, very interesting topic. The topic of fear. We are going to be learning some of the greatest revelations on this topic about what is fear and how can we break free from fears. Nithyanandam to all the viewers. I request all of you take a moment now and post here, share with us here. Where are you logging in from? Which country are you here logging in from? Please take a moment and post that here in the chat.
And I just wanted to tell you all before we start the show, start the program today, what you're going to learn today is going to turn out to be something invaluable for you. Because many of us in our day-to-day lives, in everyday situations that we face, we tend to forget, or we tend to lose touch with the component of us which is eternally powerful, eternally blissful, eternally as is, in its most blissful state, the consciousness in us. So, Von Roberts, Nithyananda, nice to see you here, and nice to see all of you joining the live stream. I just wanted to tell you all, so this is going to be something life changing for many of you, for all of you. So, please feel free to interact with us. You may have questions, you may have doubts, you may have different understandings of what we learn, but we're all in this together to discover what Swamiji has revealed. So we request every one of you to feel free to communicate, feel free to interact with us on the comment section in the YouTube.
So now first let's understand about this fear more deeply. Fear. First, where is this fear located in us? Or I should say, what does this actually impact us? Fear is the emotion that locks up our Swadhisthana chakra. We all have 7 main chakras in our body. These are the main places, the intersection points where all our energy channels merge. So out of the 7 chakras, one of the chakras which is there right 2 inches below your navel region is your Swadhisthana chakra. This chakra gets blocked by fear. And it gets unblocked when you go beyond fear. So today we are going to tap into this. In Sanskrit, Swadhisthana means where your being is established. From Swa means self, Adhisthana means where it is established. So especially fear of death locks this chakra. And understand, you can go beyond your fears by facing your fears. Facing the fear of death itself unlocks this chakra. Swamiji has given a very, very powerful meditation technique called as the Nirbhaya Dhyana. The technique directly derived from the Vedanta. So now, first let's understand a bit about this topic. What is this fear? Okay, can you all take a moment now and share with us, what do you think fear is? What according to you is fear? Okay, probably see something in the dark, you're afraid. Probably it's the fear of the unknown. Or probably is it the fear of maybe a snake is going to come and bite you? All of us have so many different forms of fear. But did you know that all our fears, whether your fear is about losing a particular relationship, or the fear is about losing a part of you, or the fear is about losing your wealth. Listen, I'm not saying you're going to be afraid of the snake, but I'm going to be saying it as you having the fear of the snake because you're afraid of losing a part of it. Just analyze your fears. Take a moment. If you know all our fears, the root of them is nothing but fear of death. All our fears are actually fear of death, but under various different disguises. Every single fear is directly related to the fear of death, but in a roundabout way. But because it's in a roundabout way, we do not see it as a fear of death. Actually, before meeting Swamiji, for me, even the word death is to be, my God, I cannot hear that word. I feel so sad inside me anytime I hear the word death. And like, I cannot hear it. I was so resistant to even hearing it. It's only after meeting Swamiji And the kind of liberating cognition Swamiji has given about death and making us face the fear of death and making us go beyond that fear. Now, even uttering this word, I feel so comfortable and complete inside. Understand, only when you start facing your fear of death and go beyond fear of death, you will even start living. You need to understand the word death. Actually, without fear, the word death itself loses its meaning. So, to what we have been constantly sitting.
So let us now try and understand what exactly is fear. Swamiji beautifully explains this as self-fulfilling negative prophecy is what is called fear. A self-fulfilling negative prediction. See, each of us have different patterns that we cherish, that we develop. And for each pattern to grow its roots, you need fear as a fertile land. Fear is that fertile land on which many patterns grow. Patterns means the thought currents, the thought processes that we cherish. Sometimes we feel insecure, like she gave an example, right? The fear of losing wealth. Or sometimes it is hatred, sometimes it's anger, sometimes it's jealousy, sometimes it's greed. But the land on which all of these grow is fear. Fear is that self-fulfilling negative prophecy. For example, just because you predicted that you're going to fall ill in 7 days, you will fall ill because you predicted it. Why did you predict? Because you're going to fall. But why will you fall? Because you already predicted it. Sounds a little confusing, sounds a little paradoxical. Why are you going to predict something why are you going to manifest something that you're afraid about? But that's the truth. That's the truth of how fear functions. So to begin with, I'll give you all an example to understand it better. So let's say that you are having an exam that's coming up in 3 months. And somehow you have decided, you're afraid that you might fail that exam. So what do? You visualize that failure. You prepare yourself for that failure. You constantly meditate on that failure, isn't it? You're like, oh my God, only 3 months are left. I've not even covered the basics and I'm sure I'm going to fail. I'm sure I'm going to fail. You keep repeating that to yourself. What happens? You visualize that it is going to happen in the future. And what do you do next? The actions that you take are already from the belief that you are going to fail, isn't it? You start, you open your book, you keep the textbook in front of you, you try reading it, but the constant fear of failure is still there in your mind, and that slowly becomes your belief. So you will be like, oh, maybe I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. You spend so much time thinking about your failure than preparing for success. And slowly you give up on attempting for success because of your fear of failure. 1 month goes by, 2 months goes by. By the end of 1.5 months to 2 months, you already decide, I'm going to fail, so let me not even take an effort. So you do all possible things to prepare yourself for failure instead of preparing for success. At the end of the 3rd month, when you actually go and sit an exam, you will naturally not know anything because you had not even prepared for it. You spent your time worrying about your fear. So you write the exam, and what happens? You fail. But what do you blame? You blame yourself. But the whole chain that you created here is that fear. That fear acts as that fertile ground on which you grew up. You sowed the seed of failure. You grew the entire plant of failure. Now failure stands facing you as reality. So fear is that self-fulfilling negative prophecies.
And we have a very short excerpt from Swamiji's satsang. Swamiji reveals about how all our fears are actually manifested.
reality. Understand there is no other enemy in your life other than your self-doubt, self-hatred, self-denial. You do not have any real danger, but your perceptions about danger keeps you in fear and makes all your fears into reality. That all your fears, which is not supported by the real danger, makes self-fulfilling negative thought currents in you as reality. Listen. See, if there is a real danger and you are acting to move out of it, that's great, nothing wrong. But 99.99% of your fears are not supported by the real danger, factual danger. It is imaginary fear. What happens? Because of that fear, you make that fear into reality. I have seen many people. I don't know whether I will be able to survive in the Adinam. Better let me run away. With that fear, they run away. That's all. So they are not surviving. Whatever is their fear, they are making it into reality.
So this fear in you is the self-fulfilling negative prophecies, using which you constantly, again and again, prepare yourself for exactly creating what you do not want to create. So let's visit some of the most prominent types of fear. You have fear of losing your name and fame, fear of losing mental health, fear of losing wealth, all your possessions. The fourth is fear of losing your near and dear ones. Fifth is fear of unknown, fear of God, fear of ghosts, fear of darkness. Now, these fear branches out into multiple phobias, right? But there's something very important to know. There's something very important to understand. All the fears, 100% of the fear, all of the fear branch out from the fear of death. All of the fear that is there in you branch out from what you have, the core, the fear of death. You're afraid, you have claustrophobia, you have any phobias, you have any types of fear, but all of it ultimately branches from the fear of death, fear of losing who you are, fear of losing your identity, fear of losing your near and dear ones, fear of losing your wealth, name and fame, fear of losing your family members, fear of losing your knowledge, fear of losing your courage. Everything is branching out from fear of losing you. What you understand is you, fear of death. Now, what are we going to do about it? Is it so complicated? Oh my God, do I have to face death? Do I have to understand about death? Isn't it such a complicated subject? No, it is not. Today, you're going to have a very unique approach to fear. You're going to be understanding what fear is and how you can tackle fear. So, before we enter into it, before we understand how it all works, let us understand a simple tip that Swamiji gives us on how you can make fear irrelevant in you.
Even if you intellectually start analyzing the stuff, fabric out of which we are all made, fear will start becoming irrelevant to you. First thing, we are all made of stuff called consciousness. Ishavasya Nidagam Sarvam. First Upanishad, first verse. I tell you, science is slowly catching up. Recently I read an article where they are trying to establish very powerfully the whole universe itself is a giant brain. I will project the article link. I want all of you to read this link. The universe itself is a giant brain and it may be conscious, says scientists. The physicists, scientists researching on consciousness as a universal force, a broad field referred to as panpsychism. They are coming to a conclusion. The universe itself is a giant brain and it may be conscious. Now only scientists are trying to tell it may be conscious. I don't know how many thousands of years before, the first statement our rishis make is Idaggo sarvam Ishavasya Idaggo sarvam, means conclusion. They are not saying may be conscious. No, it is conclusion. I tell you, brain of a human being which can internalize, which has understood this one truth, the whole, whatever exists, we are all made out of a fabric called consciousness. Alive, living, responsible and able to respond, perceive, exist, respond, survive, expand. We are all made of that fabric called consciousness. I tell you, the human being who has not grasped this cosmic principle, the human being who has grasped this cosmic principle by internalizing and doing manana, shravana, manana, nidhyasana, listening, internalizing and start manifesting, the brain shape will be different. I am not talking about just the brain, the way brain functions. The physical shape of the brain will be changed when you understand and internalize, manifest the cosmic principle. Soon, people, scientists who are working in the field of neurology, with their help, I myself will establish this truth. When you listen and internalize and manifest cosmic logic, cosmic principles, not only the way your brain functions, even the physical hardware, the size and shape and the way the brain exists becomes better and different. Different and better.
What Swamiji explained here now. Just one simple technique. But this is powerful enough to wash away even the greatest impacts that you have of fear. Do not give any legitimacy to the fear that you carry. No. Because you know what happens every time you create fear in you. It's a whole process that happens. The fight or flight hormone is released. Swamiji tells, once, just once you have a, a stroke of fear, like a fear released in you, the hormones released in you, it takes at least 1 month. It's a science. It takes 1 month for your body to settle from that grip of fear. You know why? Because fear is not just psychological, it's something physical. You would be shocked to know fear that you carry is an emotional toxin that is sitting in your liver. You find it shocking, isn't it? But that's the truth. Fear is the emotional toxin that's sitting in your liver. But how can we say that? Fear is something psychological. We tend to imagine something that is not there. We tend to, leave things out. How can fear be an emotional toxin? Yes, it is an emotional toxin sitting in your lower intestine, sitting in your liver, which affects you. Many of the times, we constantly have these fear that grips us, right? We constantly cherish, entertain fear in so many different ways. But all of these fear is simply the emotional toxins that sit in your lower intestine. So now there are two ways that you can try and handle it. One, you can try to do completion, you can try to attend to your fears, you can try to analyze, dissect. It's a long process. Another simple way, methodology that Swamiji gives is by attending to the toxins in your body. Now, to understand what exactly is fear, first Swamiji explained to all of us about how each of our fears are imaginary. But now let us understand how fear is the toxic, if fear is a toxins that is sitting in your belly.
Fear is just physical toxin. Listen to what I am saying. Don't believe what the stupid society taught you. Society wants to bind you and keep you under bondage, so it teaches all shit to you. Fear is nothing but simple physical toxins sitting in your lower intestine. If you clean and detox yourself, all the fears will be lost and you will feel your past was never a load or harassment or abusal. It's a blessing. It has grown you. It has helped you to grow so much. And you evolve. You will realize that. Second, when you feel the past is great and the fear of death dissolves, you will not be afraid of changes. Being who is not afraid of changes enjoys glorious future. Glorious future. This all cosmic law I am revealing. Take all this cosmic legal opinion. You don't need to do separate spiritual practices. Just manifest all of these great truths. Now, the boon I am giving you now is I'll blast your Kundalini, ignite your Kundalini Shakti, awaken it, and detox you completely. Make all the toxins leave your system and make your fears irrelevant. Like I'll make you altogether different metal. Understand, I am not going to be solving your problem. I am going to make all your problems irrelevant to you.
Like Swami just explained, that fear is just physical toxins sitting in your body. Swamiji beautifully tells that there's a certain level of toxins in each of our system. It comes through consumption of food, inorganic food, consumption of inorganic makeup products or different products that we use on our body, the floor cleaners, so many different ways we add toxins. Even air carries toxins. So our body naturally has increased levels of toxins, and the level of toxins in your system decides the panic attack, the feeling of terrorized, like you don't know, you just feel so terrorized by life. As long as the quantity of the toxins is left in your system, your life will constantly be in the battlefield of fighting with your fear. Constantly. Anybody can frighten you, anybody can make you shiver, anybody can exploit you, put you into that vulnerable space with fear. Because fear is not just your psychological thought process that happens in you. Fear is something physical. Fear is triggered with toxins being triggered in your system. Fear is the constant fight between what you believe as you versus your negative idea about the future, influenced by toxins. Toxins act more like a what do you say? The toxins act more like what makes the whole process, the reaction, much more faster. This fear is a self-fulfilling negative prophecies. Fear, Swami says, is a passive form of the energy, while anger is active expression. That is why fear nor anger cannot be destroyed. Fear is a deeper dimension of worry in us. So neither fear nor anger can be destroyed. There's a very powerful, important truth that Swamiji teaches us. Try and destroy your fear. You can't do that. You can only face, confront your fear, convert your fear into your strength. Time and again, we see so many stories, so many great people who conquered their fear, who made their fear as their strength. Because fear is a form of energy which you cannot, it cannot be just left or destroyed. It can only be converted into some form or another. And fear is constant fight between your visualization, your belief as you, your negative visualization about the future. And here, the toxins in your body act as a catalyst in provoking you, instigating you into falling into more and more fears. So fear manifests whenever you are afraid of losing something which you have, and when you don't have the confidence to achieve something which you want to have. Revisit your fears, all the fears that you have. It is just this. It is just the struggle where you are afraid of losing something which you have, and when you don't have the confidence to achieve something which you want to have. It is just a fight between these two. So how do we understand? And why is fear just the toxin sitting in your body? Let us listen to a revelation from Swamiji here, where Swamiji is going to reveal to all of us about how fear is just the toxins that is sitting in your gut, in your stomach, in your liver, in your intestines, and how they have the complete control over your body. So let us listen to this revelation from Swamiji, and you are going to be having a completely new perspective of what you understand as fear. And what we are talking is science. Understand? It is not a mere philosophy. It is not some good to have thinking. It's not some life positive thinking. No, this is a science. It is an established science. Swamiji has established this multiple times. We have so many studies which establish whenever you're constipated, whenever you are having ulcers, all of these trigger certain emotions in your body, and fear is associated with them. Science has established this very, very clearly. There are multiple studies which backs this as well. So let's now listen to Swamiji revealing about how fear is a toxin sitting in our.
I tell you, reduce the fear to physical component. Don't give the fear the psychological power. Then you can never break fear. Fear is nothing but toxic shit sitting in your lower intestine. Understand? Listen to the lower intestine. Fear is nothing but the toxic shit sitting in your lower intestine. All you need is just marana smarana and detoxification. That's it. Just have marana smarana and detox. With all my feeling, love and responsibility for all of you, I am telling you to do marana smarana, remembrance and consciously facing death. I tell you, you should never ever contemplate suicide. Suicide is the worst sin. In Hinduism, suicide is the worst sin. Suicide is neither allowed. You can't even think of suicide. When I say marana smarana, it is not thinking about suicide. It is contemplating, facing the fears triggered when you remember about death.
So how Swamiji revealed just now, right? Like just by cleansing your gut and by having the Marana Smarana, we will be able to actually conquer fear. You'll be actually able to break free from your fears. Understand? All of us have fear of something or other in our lives. Because as we were discussing earlier, it is about the cognitions that we carry about death. Because it's from that we start perceiving life. We start perceiving life in a certain way. Okay, nice to see many more people that have joined us. Nithyananda, Navi Gillaya, and White Hills from Nepal. Nithyananda, Lil Zoom, Nithyananda, and Mohit Sharma, Nithyananda to all of you. So now we are going to be learning more and more about fear, the concepts of fear. That's what we are going to be delving deeper and deeper into today. So that's what we have been learning so far also. Now, when we actually learn about the fear, or like when, if you see, the fear is something that has been used for a very long time to control humanity. Be it saying, okay, you probably have, you should be afraid of God, or you should be afraid of certain things. If you do this is sin, that is sin. We have been trained, or I should say, like rather controlled, using fear as a mechanism. Greed and fear are two mechanisms through which human beings are controlled. How many of you are able to recognize things like this? Like, for example, if your mother does not want you to, especially in India, the Indian mothers, like if they don't want you to go to a certain place, they'll say, oh, if you go there, ghost is going to come and catch you. Like simple things, even playfully or in a major level. In multiple ways, fear has been used as a mechanism to control us, to dictate what we should do and what we should not. The thing here is the cognitions that you carry. See, when you were young, okay, that was fine. That was for your protection or whatever it might be. But now, even after you grew older, there are certain fears that are sitting inside your system, which is literally gripping you, where it is not letting you to do what you want to do in your life. You're not able to take major decisions. It is happening because there is fear that is sitting in your system. To address fears, the first fundamental thing that we need to address is what is the cognition we are carrying about our life and about death. I know this word itself might even trigger many of you, but like how Swamiji beautifully revealed, Marana Smarana, it is not about you contemplating about suicide. Hinduism is completely against suicide. But it is you understanding what is death and to go beyond, to be able to face your fear. Understand most of the times, more than our fears, we are afraid of our fears. Fear of fear, that's the worst fear. That's what we are suffering with. You are not directly afraid of a snake because a snake is there. See, how many of us have a fear related to snake? Many of us have. It's like almost like without even you might have seen snake probably once or twice in your entire life. And the probability of a snake coming and biting you is less than 2%. But you so strongly experience this fear. How many of you have felt this before? Understand such things where even your imagination, you're not afraid of the snake being there, you're afraid of the fear of the snake, which is triggered again and again and again inside the system. You create a delusion and you're afraid about it. Now, first thing, when you start facing your fear of death, many of your other fears just died off. Like many places, whenever you want to completely uproot a tree, they go and pour acid at the very root of the tree. So once the acid is poured, in a matter of 2-3 days, the entire tree dies completely, like it just uproots itself. This is used by the people who want to do deforestation. Many of them use this as a technique. The same thing, if you actually see, for a tree to be completely collapsed, you just cut a tree, it will grow back again in the same place. But when you destroy its very root, nothing will grow back there. Same way, you need to address the very root of your fears, which is fear of death. First thing, many civilizations or many religions are not teaching us about the possibility, the existence, or how we have rebirth, reincarnation. The civilizations that teaches reincarnation have always been extremely life positive. And the cultures that believe in reincarnation have turned the focus of their life inwards. Their search is different. They are not motivated to life in a hurry because eternity is granted. Our whole mental setup, the course of how our lives are, how our society functions. All this is dictated by the cognition we carry about fears.
Now, what are these fear, like the cognitions that we carry about fears? When Swamiji says, right, like it's the cognitions, what does he mean? When Swamiji says all that we understand are whatever we see are the cognitions that we carry about fear, what exactly does Swamiji mean through that? Let us watch a very quick video where Swamiji is revealing about how fears are just built out of our perceptions, they are not the facts.
Some deeper insights into this fear pattern. See, when I utter the word fear pattern, it means all your fears are patterns, not facts. Please listen. Your fears, when they overpower you, look like fact. When you overpower them, you realize it is pattern. Understand? When they overpower you, it looks like fact. When you overpower them, it looks like pattern. Now all we need to do something so that they can never overpower you. They can never make you powerless. They can never make you powerless. Listen. We will have to do something so that we can never become powerless. Listen to this truth. Internalize. All fear is nothing but pattern making you powerless. Because you become powerless, the pattern looks like a fact. It's like there is a hero and a dupe for the hero. When hero is dead, powerless, dupe looks like a hero. Pattern taking over you, making you powerless, and makes itself look like fact. That is the worst thing can happen to you. Please listen. That is the worst thing that can happen to you. All fears are ultimately rooted in fear of death. All fears ultimately rooted in fear of death. Actually, whenever you become powerless, that is the real moment about which you need to be afraid. Not the death itself. Please listen. If you don't become powerless, death is just transition. If you become powerless, collapse, actually death leads to such an unknown, unable to understand space. In your life, if at all you have to be afraid of something, only you have to be afraid of becoming powerless, nothing else. Nothing else need to be worried. You don't need to worry. You don't need to be afraid of anything else other than feeling powerless. Feeling powerless is the only thing about which you need to be afraid of.
you need to be worried about.
स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दं कृपापूर्णं जगत्पतिं हरिषड्वर्गजेतारं नित्यानन्दगुरुं भजे.
There is a proverb. If cat will think, you can see cats when they drink milk, they will always close their eyes tight because they think once they close their eyes, the whole world will become dark. Nobody will see that they are drinking milk. You are also doing the same thing. When you chant some mantra, because you don't pay attention to the fear, you think the fear has disappeared. Let you be very clear, fearlessness does not mean non-existence of fear. It means the fear will be there and you will have tremendous energy or courage to live with it. Who can flirt with the fear, the maximum fear, and the energy or the courage to live with it is what? Is the quality of Bhairava. Bhairava means, it is not that he doesn't have fear, he can flirt with fear. He is not affected by fear. One more thing, the very quality of life is fear. People come and ask me, Swamiji, I am always having the fear of unknown, what to do? I tell them, please be very clear, you are alive. There is a possibility of losing something, that is why you are afraid. If you don't have any possibility, you will never be afraid. You will never be afraid. That is why these barbarians, the barbaric societies, they are never afraid. You can see constantly these fellows going out and killing people. War, all wars. You can see people who are barbaric only win in the war. The big problem is people who are sensitive, respectful to the life, they don't feel like fighting. They don't feel like fighting because they don't feel that there is need for protecting anything. But these barbaric people, they go on killing everybody. Let it be very clear, fear is the basic quality of life. You can be fearless if you are in graveyard. If you are already in graveyard, there is no need to be afraid of anything. Nothing to lose. If you have something to lose, you will have fear. Nothing can be done. Nothing can be done. That is the quality of life itself. Here, Shiva says, Bhairavi, O Bhairavi, means, oh, energy you can flirt with fear, who can have or go beyond. You are neither attached with fear or detached from fear. One more thing, if you are afraid of fears, if you are frightened about fears, again, don't think you are detached from fear. It's one more kind of attachment. All detachment is one more kind of attachment. The negative way of attachment is detachment. If you are afraid of fear, if you are frightened about fear, again, you are in fear. Your consciousness will be moving around the fear. One thing, sometime if you are energetic, if the hormonal pressure in your body is high, you do things without intelligence, without thinking about the result. That is what you call as courage. Let it be very clear, whatever you think as courage is not courage. You do not think about consequences. In hurry, just when you run, you don't know what you are doing and you just do it. And you do not know what you have done or you do not know what you want to do and you just run and finish it off. Small story. 3 friends ran to the railway station. Last moment at 10:21, 10:20 is the train time, 10:21, somehow 2 of them they got into the train. The third one missed. Station master came and petted, tried to console him. Don't worry, at least your friends have made it. Said, no, they came to see me off. They came to see me off. Be very clear, sometime in the hurry, you don't know what you are doing. And that is what you claim as courage. When the hormonal pressure is little more than your intelligence or logic, you do something which you claim as courage, that's all. Otherwise, except a man who has experienced this neutral zone, nobody can talk about courage. The real courage is to let go your identity, which you think as you, to relax from the identity, which you again and again associate as you, whether your money or your relationship, whatever you think as your power, whatever gives you the power as on now, the source for inspiration or the source for power is only the matter, your bank balance, your house, your relationships, your car or whatever you think as yours. Your education, the I and mine, you derive inspiration from the I and mine, fear and greed, your wealth and relationships. Let it be very clear, if you are deriving inspiration, if your fear and greed are your properties, your identity is the source of inspiration for you means, let it be very clear, you are not too far away from depression. Because how long greed will be alive? How long fear will be alive? The greed will disappear the moment you have that product. Or if you understand that you can't have it. If you achieve or understand you can't have, both the time the greed will disappear. Then you don't have any source of inspiration. You don't have anything which makes you run. You don't have anything which brings you to life. Same way with fear. If your identity is based on society, be very clear, you are nothing more than a puppet. Big problem is, at least in puppet show, puppets are handled by one man. In your show, you are handled by thousands of people. Any single man can put you into depression. One word is enough. You are already in depression. If somebody asks, are you mad? You shout and prove you are mad. Somebody asks, are you mad? You shout and prove that yes, I am. I always tell people, if you don't open your mouth, people may suspect you are a fool. If you open, you will confirm it.
स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दं कृपापूर्णं जगत्पतिम्
Now, Swamiji very beautifully revealed to us about how courage, fear, or identity, all of them are interlinked. In the last an hour or so, we learned different aspects of fear. But one of the most unique aspects, I'm sure, for every one of you is understanding how fear is an emotional toxin sitting in your body. In today's live stream, we essentially learned about how you can, a unique way to handle fear. Because you need to understand how fear is an emotional toxin sitting in you. So now let's all listen to a very beautiful revelation from Swamiji, how you can tackle this emotional toxins called fear, which is sitting in you.
And as you are listening, please take notes of the revelation that Swamiji is giving, because you're going to be listening some techniques and extremely powerful cognition which can transform your day-to-day life. The very quality of your life can be completely transformed. And if you are someone who is interested in this, who's very keen to learn more about this, take a moment, go ahead and sign up for Paramashivoham. The program is going to be starting very soon, and you can go ahead and sign up for it, where you will get to learn and experience the most powerful ancient techniques directly from Hinduism, addressing different dimensions of their life. And it is also going to completely transform your inner space so that you can achieve what you want. So take a few minutes and go ahead and sign up. The link is paramashivoham.org. Now let's listen to the revelation from Swamiji.
I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Shri Mahants, Mahanstani, Avataris, viewers, visitors, Sarvanyapida Yajamans, Kartas, Ayakalpa Yoga participants, and everyone sitting with us live on Nithyananda TV, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Enlightened app, KAILASA TV, Hinduism Now, Twitter, two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. Paramashiva's message from Sri KAILASA today. Listen, intensely listen. Happening of physical death. Happening of present dying and becoming past. Happening of new birth and happening of future being born. All this happens in same frequency and the cognition with which you operate your life. If you think very immature, powerless way, in binary logic way, about your death and birth, past and future, you will live a superficial life. Anyone gets a matured cognition about the death, birth, past and future lives a powerful enlightened life. Enlightenment does not need any spiritual practice. It only needs spiritual enlightening from proper Guru. It is only a right cosmic legal opinion being digested and manifested. Listen carefully. Enlightenment does not need any spiritual practice. This is directly from Paramashiva. It only needs a spiritually enlightening cosmic legal opinion from a enlightened incarnation and you digesting it, that's all. Listen. How can Paramashiva say you don't need spiritual practice? That is true. All our spiritual practice is just to detox us. It has nothing to do with. None of the spiritual practices can give enlightenment. They only can detox your system and keep you receptive. So when Guru pours energy, powerful cognition, just hold it and manifest it. If you think in the language of binary logic, cheap, immature, powerless cognitions, the people who want to keep you as a slave, most of the so-called developed countries are large-scale prisons where you just concur with the whole system established and you just go with it. You are born, you go to the school and you take up a job, you pay your bills. By the time you are paying your bills, life is gone. Maybe a marriage, a divorce, and kids, and custody, and kids, few Christmas, few vacation, and few sightseeing, maybe a little time for religion, and a little time for being sick, and you are gone. I tell you, if you think about death in a very superficial way, about birth in a very superficial way, about past in a superficial way, about future in a superficial way, you will live very superficial life. Life is not about what you do. Life is all about what you experience about life. Listen. Listen carefully. Anyone experiences the cosmic legal opinion about life, about death, about past, about future, lives very intense life. I tell you. Just now I made a statement. Life is not about what you do. When I made that statement, I meant not about your career, the money you made, and the brand you built for yourself. Life has nothing to do with that. All this brand you built for yourself and the career and for what you are known, well known, all that is a lifestyle related, not life related. The car you drove, the house you lived, and the dresses you wore, and the kind of the furnitures you used, or the jewelry you used, and kind of the people with whom you associated, all that is like your lifestyle. Lifestyle is different from life. Early morning when you wake up, what kind of powerfulness you feel about your existence. That is life. What kind of powerfulness you feel about your birth, your death, your past, your future. Last few days I was explaining about building the future, planting the future, planning, not just planning, planting. Listen. Listen carefully. Listen sincerely. Your death and your past, your birth and your future, all the four are enjoyed by you by a same prism. You see all these four through a same prism, through a same glass. That is called your pragnya, your individual consciousness. Listen carefully. If you feel your death is going to take away lot of things from you, and you are terrorized, afraid, frightened, don't know what to do about death, the same thing will exactly you will feel about your past. If you are feeling very threatened, frightened, overwhelmed by your birth, I don't know where I am going to be born, I don't know what will happen to me, I don't know how I am going to grow up, I don't know what kind of body I will get, I don't know what kind of parents I will get, I don't know what kind of people I will be surrounded by. If you have all this about your birth, you will have exactly same thing about your future. Listen. If you feel very calm, cool, comfortable, matured about your death, I know whatever I am integrated to, that cannot be taken away from me. If I am integrated to Paramashiva, that cannot be taken away from me. Understand your SDHD, self-doubt, self-hatred, self-denial, does not have power over to steal your conscious treasures from you. For example, every day you have done sincerely Shiva Puja and lived very joyful, sattvic, vegetarian lifestyle. Suddenly your self-doubt or self-hatred, self-denial cannot take away that whole spiritual understandings and powerful cognitions you had. Maybe this SDHD can cloud your spiritual powers and sun, but cannot take it away. Please listen carefully. I made one statement just few minutes before. Life has nothing to do what you do. It has something to do about what you experience. This is what I mean. Your powerful, conscious understanding. For example, when you are cool, calm, meditating, connecting with me, listening to satsang, you feel like, what death? I know Swamiji will simply come. It's like a department change. And I'll hold his hand and I'll have a private time with him. Now, all the time people are around him. I can't talk to him what I want. I can't spend time with him. I think at least after I leave the body, I'll be just alone with him. If you feel that way, there is no fear instigated in you by the remembrance of the death. Mara smarana, listen to this word. Marana smarana, what it kindles in you is your natural organic existence. Listen. Marana smarana, what it kindles in you is your natural organic existence. If you complete with the Marana Smarana's powerlessness, you will feel so much of powerfulness about your past. The concepts, cognitions, ideas you carry about death will naturally, intensely reflect on your past. You will feel the same about past. Please understand, today what I am talking is a very, very high level. It's like the Satyaloka's truths. I am mapping it in the formula for all our binary logical mind. The multi-dimensional truth, I am mapping it to binary logical mind. Your mind, almost 99% of your mind functions with binary logic. I am trying to make the ultimate truth, trying to map the ultimate truth into your binary logic. I only want little patience. Just don't hate me. Just don't abuse me. Have little patience. I commit with you with the grace of Paramashiva and Kalabhairava. I will make this whole understanding into you and liberate you. I am telling you, you don't need a spiritual practice. If you just come along with me, I'll step by step make your brain capture this truth. Step by step, I'll break the knots. So first thing, capture, listen. Sit straight, be fresh, be attentive, listen. Enlightenment is all about how you decide to feel about you. If Marana Smarana triggers, Marana Smarana means remembrance of death. If it triggers insecurity, uncertainty, oh, will I have a natural death or will I die in an accident? Will I be murdered or will I commit suicide? What will happen? I don't know. If the Marana Smarana triggers fears, pains, feeling terrorized and shivering, all that, be very clear. Your whole life is useless. So decide to spend time on yourself and evolve a very matured being for yourself. That is the biggest asset. Biggest asset a being can have is a matured, happy, joyful, vacation mood when you remember your death. Marana Smarana should give you vacation mood. Hey, I am going to have vacation with Swamiji in KAILASA. How long? Who cares? It's a vacation. I don't need to go for my job regularly. I neither need to do my office work nor need to do Sangha work. Hi. Bye. If Marana Smarana gives you kind of a feeling relieved. Listen carefully. Your cognition about past also will be very light. I tell you, you can feel your whole past was hell. You can feel your whole past was heaven. Both are factually, both can be supported with enough facts. You have enough facts to argue your whole past was heaven. You have enough facts to argue your whole past was hell. You have enough facts to come to the conclusion your whole past was heaven. You have enough facts to come to the conclusion whole past was hell. Listen carefully. Paramashiva beautifully reveals the Kala. Listen. Kala is time. That wheel gets the bump whenever you have undigestible, intolerable, negative possibility. For example, some people, they can tolerate anything in their life, even the poverty, but not sickness. Some people, they can tolerate anything in their life, even sickness, anything, but not poverty. Some people, they will tolerate anything, but they don't want to lose their husband or wife. Some people, they will tolerate anything, they just don't want to lose their son. Some people will tolerate anything, but they can't handle the prison or even the fear of jail. Some people can tolerate anything. No problem about no fear of jail, no fear of disease, no fear of poverty, no fear of losing the house, no fear of losing the spouse, no fear of losing even the kids. They just can't handle a morning without a cup of coffee. Understand, something which triggers anxiety, panic, I can't deal it, which triggers you to lose your pragnya, that your existence, which just imbalances your pragnya. Listen carefully. That is what is the bump for the Kala chakra to roll smoothly. Marana Smarana will point out what is it that makes you lose your pragnya, your existence. Listen carefully. There are some people who are ready to lose anything, but not the house they are living. There are some people who are ready to lose everything, but not any parts of the body in accident. There are some people who are ready to lose anything, but afraid of getting imprisoned, jailed. There are some people who are ready to lose, they have no fear of jail, poverty, health, but they can't even think of losing the spouse. So like this, each one has some trigger point which makes you fall out of your pragnya, balance of your pragnya. Marana Smarana triggers that. Listen carefully. You all should do Marana Smarana and trigger that pain point and heal it once for all. You just have to poke that tumor and pus should come out. What can be done? Nothing can be done. If the pus is taken out, even if you are collapsed, even if you collapse for 2-3 days, nothing wrong. But don't go for any other alternative, diverting, addictive methods. Face the Marana Smarana with boldness and courage. I tell you, anyone who faces Marana Smarana boldly and courageously gains a very powerful pragnya. And I tell you, powerful pragnya is the most beautiful asset. How these celebrities all, they ensure their beautiful part of their body like eyes, lips, thighs, hands, leg, how they nose, all that, and different way the other parts also, how they ensure beautiful parts of their bodies, the different celebrities. Same way, the most valuable part of your life, part of you, is the consciousness, the powerfulness you raise through Marana Smarana. Marana Smarana means remembrance of the death. What is triggered in you by remembrance of the death, you should go through that and build a most powerful, beautiful personality, conscious being, pragnya, pratyagatma chaitanya, individual consciousness, jiva, self, for yourself. For all my disciples, listen carefully. See, now what I am talking is a knowledge for an onlooker. If somebody is just a viewer or visitor listening, what I am talking is a knowledge. They may think, wow, this guy is talking something great. But for all my disciples, what I am talking is a boon. I am giving you commitment. Don't worry, you boldly do Marana Smarana. You will not fall into depression, I promise. I promise. You will not fall into depression. You will identify what is the pain point you have which is stopping your maturity. I tell you, even if you fall into fever, shiver, collapse 1 or 2 days, it's okay. It's okay. When you do Marana Smarana, remembrance of death, I tell you, actually now the Bhishma Parva is coming. Bhishma Parva is a beautiful time to leave the body. I am not asking you to die. No, none of you will die. Name bhakta pranashyati. My devotee shall never perish. My devotee will never perish. My devotee never perishes. Understand? Neither you will die, nor you will be destroyed. Don't worry. I only wanted you to do the Marana Smarana, which will strengthen your inner space. If you all do Marana, remembrance of the death, you will become so beautiful. I fall in love with you guys. Whoever has done Marana Smarana, come to terms with Marana Smarana. I will fall in love with you. If you want your Guru to be in love with you, just do only one thing. Build a matured being through Marana Smarana. I tell you. See, I'm giving you the exact key. Listen. You remember about your death. You feel, oh God, I don't know why Swamiji is telling me to remember about my death. There are so many wonderful things. Why can't I remember and think of all that? He is telling me to remember about my death. I don't know whether okay if death happens very smoothly, but if some accident happens and some parts of my body collapses, and especially these TV shows are there, I should not have been alive. There are TV shows, I should not have been alive. Like in aircraft accidents, people get caught in some island, or they get lost in some remote forest. These climbers, hill climbers, they get lost in some ice, snow. You would have seen all these stupid shows. No, I don't want to blame those shows. Why should we blame them? You will be remembering all of that in your mind. Oh God, my death, will it happen like that? Will it happen like this? All that insecurity. Please understand. When you do the Marana Smarana, Bhishmashtami is 2nd February. So, when you do the Marana Smarana, first thing, nothing wrong will happen to you. All my disciples should know very clearly, Marana Smarana will make you more beautiful. And I really want you to know, Marana Smarana will make your liver very actively involved with the life. Your whole body will become beautiful. Your eyes will become bright. All kinds of fears will rise in you. Just sit in your bed and what can be done? Yes, this is, I don't know. These are all possibilities. And you need to know, all your fears are more like a drug addiction. The delusion coming down, not like a real fact. Listen to this. This is the boon I am giving for my disciples. Listen this. There is certain level of toxins in your body. That level of toxins decides the panic attack and feeling terrorized. As long as the quantity of those toxins is left in your system, your life will have a very cheap, low quality. Anybody can frighten you. Anybody can make you shiver. Piss in the pants. Any other words you want, you can use. The greatest Paramashiva's grace I have is nobody can frighten me. Nobody can frighten me. Even if I am touching the feet of the donkey, it is just for the sake of my mission. I feel my mission is more important than my ego. And of course I don't have ego, so no problem. I may look like touching the feet of the donkeys. Like how I am telling you, hey, don't waste time in fighting. Let us do our mission. That doesn't mean I am afraid of fights. It doesn't mean I am afraid of donkeys. Understand? I am giving more importance to the mission than these donkeys, that's all. Nobody can frighten me is the greatest blessing Paramashiva has given me. Listen. Somebody has put a t-shirt in the internet. Whether he put it in the right way or wrong way, I don't know. Nithyananda brand. Shock everyone. Make it happen. Actually, that is my brand. From the time I am born, this is what is my lifestyle. Every time I'll shock everyone by making it happen. Make it happen. Shock everyone. It's the brand of Nithyananda. Nobody thought. Understand? See, today only I remembered Kuppamal did not die in 1995. It was much early. He was in first year or second year itself, diploma itself, Kuppama died. So it must be 1992 or 93. We'll find out exact date. She died. Surely when I was minor, much earlier than 1995, because 1995 the college is over, the polytechnic which I was studying. But I remember Kuppamal passed away when I was in first year or second year. So it must be 1993 or most probably 1993. And anyhow, nobody in Tiruvannamalai thought I'll continue my journey after my gurus passed away, because especially they passed away so young. See, they put me in the Sarvanya Pita, they initiated me, they finished all the spiritual responsibilities and everything. When I was around 10, 12, I think time itself they finished one by one. Before Isaki Swamigal left the body, they finished literally all the ritualistically whatever was needed. And then 1991 he passed away. Before that they finished everything. And then the remaining few things, like a last, before leaving whatever they need to impart, Kuppamal did some part and Raghupati Yogi did some part, and everything was done. I am like a 15-year-old boy, 16-year-old boy. 1994 and 94 I must be 16-year-old boy, 78 born. So nobody thought I'll take my life very seriously in the spiritual path. They thought, okay, many small kids run around with these Swamis, gurus, and when they die, then they just go back to study and continue with the regular life and get married and go and do all that. That's then regular family and get a job, and nobody thought I'll be so serious. My family was actually shocked. Of course, only one or two people who know me thoroughly, like my grandfather, he did not get shocked. But he was insistent that I should not leave Tiruvannamalai, I should stay in Tiruvannamalai itself, and he himself will build an ashram for me and I should stay there. And that is what he was insisting. But I shocked everyone. I shocked the people who resisted sannyas. I shocked the people who did not have confidence that I will be successful in my sannyas. I shocked the people who thought I will not be able to survive outside Tiruvannamalai. My grandfather thought I may not be able to survive outside Tiruvannamalai. One gang thought I will not be serious about sannyas. One gang thought I will not be successful. Many gangs. I shot all the gangs. When I took it seriously and made it and successful, I made it happen. I just made it. 1999, by 1999 I made it, and 2000 started the ashram. So understand, yes, now we have the exact date. I was 17-year-old, minor boy only. Kuppamal passed away. And from Polytechnic I came and performed all the last rituals. For her, all the last rituals, Linga Pratya, everything I did personally. And that's one good thing. Anyhow. But understand, nobody ever thought to make it happen. I was put in the Sarvanyapita. See, given sannyas and started the Chaturmasya when I was at the age of 3. At the age of 3, they have declared that I am an incarnation, and they gave me sannyas and started making me do the Chaturmasya Vrata. Because the Kanchi Swami wanted I should have the maximum number of Chaturmasya as my record. And my Sannidhanam, 230th Sannidhanam, Tondemandala Sannidhanam, he was asking advice from Kanchi Swami, Paramacharya, that what all should be done to make me very gloriously presented to the world. And all of you should know all this. We have documents and evidence, and people who directly heard from these Sannidhanams are still alive, and we have direct evidences from them. Anyhow, the Sannidhanam goes to Kanchi Swami and asks, what can I do for him to have the best, glorious? And Sannidhanam was very happy that I am born in his community, and Paramacharya gave few advices. Make him learn Sanskrit also, not just Tamil, and don't try to keep him just for your mutt. He will revive many mutts and do a lot of good work all over the world. And teach him Vedanta also. You should not just keep him teaching only Siddhanta. You should teach him Vedanta also. And all these were direct advice given by Paramacharya to 230th Guru Maha Sannidhanam, and Sannidhanam followed all of that. See, at the age of 3, they have given me sannyas and started making me do the Chaturmasya. I still remember. And then by that time I was 10, they already put me in the Sarvanyapita with the grace of Paramashiva and started training me as a Pidadhipati. You can see the photograph of me sitting as a Pidadhipati with a full, that Sivanyana Golukkachi, with all the Rudrakshas and like Guru Maha Sannidhanams. Hardly 12, 13-year-old boy sitting in front of Arunachala hill, that Panjamukam, Sivanyana Golukkachi, Paramashivam Golukkachi, how the Sannidhanam sit with a turban on the head and full of Rudraksha and covering the chest. Kuttumalai, all types of Rudraksha malas, and sitting in Chinmudra. That's called Sivanyana Golukkachi. And so by I don't know exactly which year, they put me in the throne, and she has even written a clear paper that recording the Guru Parampara, documenting the Guru Parampara from Isakki Swami, Kuppammal and me, and same place, sitting and taking pictures. That Guru Parampara, like a handing over of the tradition.
பூஜை செய்தார் இம்மையிலும் நன்மை தரும் என்னும் திருநாமம் தன்னை சூட்டிக் கொண்டார். சிவனுடல் நின்றே சிவசக்தி என்றே அன்னையும் எழுந்தாள் அவனுடனே. ஈசனின் பெருமை பேசிட நான் இங்கு பிறவியும் கொண்டேன், அதில் சுகமே.
Listen, nobody ever thought I'll make it. By the grace of Paramashiva, I made it. The only reason I made it is the grace of Paramashiva. Nobody was able to make me shiver. I tell you, Marana Smarana will free you from all fears. You will go on be creating right strategies. See, if you don't have fear inside, that is like you are absolutely loving yourself. You will see what is external attacks happening on you. You will not be wasting time on internal fight. Listen carefully. Fear is nothing but internal fighting. And I tell you, fear is the sleeping cell of your enemy inside your consciousness. Mark this word. I want all of you to mark this word. You heard of sleeping cell? How? The enemy's sleeping cell inside you is your fear. Because I don't have any sleeper cell of any of these abusers, attackers, enemies inside me, I am going on winning. These attackers, abusers, enemies, they cannot imagine why I am strategizing. They cannot conceive or think, what this fellow is strategizing, what is he going to do. They cannot imagine, they cannot even think my strategies. That is my success. Understand? Because they do not know how to agitate me. They don't have their sleeper cell inside me. Listen to this very carefully. Listen. You guys to see this. Arunachalas. See this photo where my Paramaguru Isaki Swami is sitting. The same, that is a Sarvanya Pita. Traditional ritual is performed there, and then Vibhudananda Puri, my Guru is sitting. And then my Guru has made me sit in the same and did all the Pattabhishekam and regular rituals and handed over all the Danda Kamandala, Shanka. That is that symbol, all the worship deities, the Guru Parampara deities and the Rudrakshamala, Kavi, everything she handed over. You can see, hardly I think must be 12 or 13-year-old boy. The document letter she wrote very late, much later, because in that letter itself she has pasted this photo. It means this photo is taken much earlier than the letter. The letter is dated I think 1992 or 94, I don't know. And you can see. Anyhow, all this has happened before 94. 94, I am hardly 16. 78 born means 94, I am hardly 16. So before I am 16, when I was minor, this whole thing is done. 1994, the letter is written. The letter is dated 1994, means I am hardly 16. Not even 17, 16-year-old boy. So everything is done before when I was 16, and the Pitam was handed over, the Guru Parampara is handed over, and whole thing is done. And then the whole vision is given that I have to manifest, with the grace of Paramashiva, I have to manifest the whole KAILASA. And I was given a clear instruction and guidance that I have to study how the international organization, Sangha, Hindu Sanghas function, and I have to do all the Purva Vaksha, everything by my own Padayatra. Nobody thought I'll make it happen. You can see the village boy. And with the grace of Paramashiva, I made it happen. The only thing, Paramashiva's biggest blessing on me is There is no shivering in me. Absolutely focused on goal. Sometimes, even if I look like or I act like, it appears like I am touching the donkey's feet and moving, it is just because I put my mission as my priority. That's all. There is no fear. It's not that Vasudeva was afraid of donkeys and he touched the feet of donkeys. He doesn't have time to waste and fight with them. He has to safeguard Krishna. Mission was more important at the time than the ego. That's all. To understand. Mark this statement. Your enemy's sleeper cell inside your consciousness is your fears. By marana smarana, remembrance of death, consciously and facing all the fears, you will change altogether the quality of the metal out of which you are made. Listen, the ultimate alchemy, jnana rasavadam. Jnana rasavadam will happen. Please understand. With the love of the Guru, especially when I am telling you, listen, to all my disciples, I am telling you, because I love you, I am asking you to do marana smarana. I will never ask you to do something wrong. Not only that, why will I put you in depression? I really love you. With my support and assurance and deep love, do marana smarana, you will altogether become a different metal. Some places you will feel, I will be there with you and support you, raise you and change the whole space and take you to KAILASA. Sometimes in some places you will feel, I will give you the right knowledge and raise you, your consciousness, whatever you feel. Whether you feel, I will give a knowledge and support you, or you feel, I will give energy and directly raise you to KAILASA, anything is okay. Or even if you feel, oh, Swamiji may just dump me, he will not bother about me because I have done something wrong. Even that is one more fear. Losing the biggest support of life, Guru. Even that is one more fear. Do the marana smarana. I tell you, because I love you, I will never give up on you. I will make you understand, even your fear about losing me is one more stupid fear, not reality. And the amount of fear you experience is only the amount of toxins. It has nothing to do with reality or facts. How much of possibility is there snake biting you? Almost 0.000000000%. But how many people see snake in dream, waking state, all the kind of states? Even when they are scrolling the Facebook, if there is a snake photo on the Facebook, people will not touch that. They will scroll in the side. They will not touch that photo of snake in the Facebook screen, in touch screen also. They will not touch the photo of the Facebook. Photo of the snake in the touch screen. How many of you are like that? Even if it is a snake's photo in the touch screen, you will not touch that photo in the touch screen. I tell you, Marana Smarana alters the kind of the material you are made. And Marana Smarana will liberate you from so much of stupidity and junk you are thinking, visualizing, imagining about the past. Just now I made a statement to the beginning of the satsang. Life is not all about what you do, life is all about how you experience. Now I am making another one statement. Life is all about what you are doing to others, not what you feel about yourself. Listen, both statements may look very contradictory. You see through the folly logic and binary logic. Binary logic is waiting to become a folly logic. It is like a man who eats 3 times a day in McDonald's is waiting to become obese and diabetic and diabesity. Now new word has come up. Obesity and diabetes together, diabesity. And he is going to die. Planning for death is every day having that big size burger, whatever, Texas size, whatever. Eating left and right. It's plan for death. Same way, listen. I've seen people. They will do all kinds of fantasizing imagination about body, healthy lifestyle, everything. But when it comes to the time of eating, that's it. Everything is forgotten. Everything is forgotten. Nothing is remembered. Listen. This Marana Smarana will break tons of pains and frustration. Like a feeling of unloved, unattended, ungrounded, don't know what I am and what will happen to me, where will I land, how will I evolve, and a deep feeling that you failed your life or your life failed you. Understand, that is one of the biggest crises. Sleeper cell of enemies. Inside you is your fear. Sleeper cell of enemies. Inside you is your fear. Now I will explain the second statement I made. Second statement I made is life is all about what you do to others, not about what you feel about yourself. Here I mean, drop the selfishness, constant selfishness, and plans to pamper yourself and get out of your shell and go on enriching, supporting, contributing to people. Even your business, your profession, your job, your work. If it is helping people, directly supporting people, enriching people, become workaholic, nothing wrong. If you are wiping the shoes of people every day, if you are supplying water to people every day, if you are supplying the right food to people every day, if you are teaching people right knowledge every day, if you are helping people to have a better life, like if you are working in a bank, if you are working in an IT company, you are trying to help make the world better place. And if you are helping people with the medical care and whatever, right medical care and right banking, right things, Even that enriching, that is enriching. Become workaholic and do that. You will see, you will become altogether a different kind of metal. Marana Smarana will destroy selfishness. It will bring right knowledge about what you cognize about yourself and less feelings about what you feel about yourself. Listen, powerlessness, selfishness, both are one and the same. A person who is powerless, who does not have a right consciousness about themselves, will be so selfish. I made two statements. One statement, life is nothing to do with what you do. It's something to do with how you feel and experience about you. Second statement I told, life is all about what you do to others and not about what you feel about yourself. Seemingly the two statements seems to be very contradicting. And I tell you, in the first statement, when I said, I meant having powerful cognitions is the right thing. Second statement, when I said, I mean the same thing. If you have a powerful cognitions, you will not be selfish, you will not be thinking all the time about yourself. You will be so active and contributing. Understand? Active and contributing to others' life, enriching the whole world, happens with Marana Smarana. If you do Marana Smarana, I tell you, the greatest boon giver is Paramashiva, because he is embodiment of Marana Smarana. Ishana, Paramashiva, Rudra, Shiva is embodiment of Marana Smarana. Because of that, he is ultimate giver. He goes on giving. Marana Smarana makes you a different metal altogether. Today, whatever I am talking is two important things from Akashic records I am revealing. You please watch this satsang at least 3-4 times. Only then you will understand what I am talking. It looks very... listen. It's like a different dots I am connecting. That whole zigzag puzzle I am connecting. If you watch this satsang 3-4 times only, you will understand how I am connecting the whole zigzag puzzle. Selfishness, powerlessness, fear, all that I am connecting. A powerless man will be so selfish, terrorized all the time, immature cognition. He will feel loaded about the past and terrorized about birth. Means any small change. He can't handle even a small change. And when you can't handle even a small change, terrorized about the future. Future will be glorious only with the wild and wide changes. Listen carefully. A man who is enjoying wide and wild changes. Now for last 2 years almost I stayed in one room. I can't even say in one place. It's called, I should say, one room. Just giving satsang and sitting in samadhi. But suddenly, by the grace of Paramashiva, from next month, I am going to be doing grand world tours. I am ready and excited. Not addicted to sitting in one place, in one room. Same way. If Paramashiva's grace situation needs me to sit in one room silently and give satshangs, I will do that for any number of years. I neither have a problem for this nor have a problem for that. There was a time where thousands were flacking me every day and no time even to drink water. In the car I will drink and eat, and the old devotees, they know. One of my devotees sitting in Pattanam Adinam now, Tyagarajan, Rasipuram Tyagarajan, he knows. Morning 6 o'clock I will start the Kalpataru session. Night 8 o'clock the sessions will be over and I will start the darshan. It will go next day morning, early morning 4 o'clock. I will finish the darshan and start to the next city. In the car I will eat and sleep. Next city I will go within 3 or 4 hours and start the next session, next day session. Next session, in the 3 hours only sleep, food, all in the car. Next city I will start the Kalpataru. And that whole day Kalpataru class and night darshan, and next day again by 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock I will be in the next city. Like this, not one day or 2 days, day in and day out I have done. And I am not addicted to that lifestyle. When needed, I started just sitting and healing people, blessing people, and flocked by thousands sannyasis, brahmacharis, brahmacharinis. And when needed, situation demanded, I was sitting in one room all alone, not even seeing human beings, just giving online satsang and sitting in samadhi. Understand? Neither addicted to crowded lifestyle, glorious life, nor addicted to the seclusive life. Nothing, no addiction, but ready to face, ready for any wild changes of the future. I tell you, this is what is the guts, courage for new births, and courage for future. If you want glorious future, be ready for wide and wild changes. Always Paramashiva's grace will bring you auspiciousness. I am telling you, it will bring only auspiciousness. Nothing wrong will happen. Everything will happen only in a right way. As I said, nothing falls apart. Everything falls in place. Things fall apart for the people who are terrorized and frightened. Things fall in place for the people who are absolutely surrendered and centered to Paramashiva. Integrated to Paramashiva. I tell you. Marana Smarana. Marana Smarana shakes and makes you drop all the rust and dust, wear and tear. The whole toxins melts down. And listen carefully. When the toxins melts down, you will not feel the past as a load or curse. Any being to feel the hope about the future should feel past as either best has happened or at least good has happened. Good or best. Only these two has happened. Nothing wrong has happened. They all added, enriched me. Everything enriched me. Some way or other. That kind of a feeling when you have about your past, You are detoxed absolutely. Marana Smarana has attained completion. You become altogether a different metal. Understand? When we energize the deities, huge size deities, taller than your height. If you have to install a deity, you have to put a Mercury under the deity. Like in Biddi I put, only in India I put Mercury. In outside India, legally it is not allowed to put the Mercury. So only in India I put. Under the Garbhagraha deities, the energized Mercury is kept. For that energizing, there are many processes. One process is just by energy, it becomes solid, from liquid to solid. That's what I have done and installed it under the Garbha Mandir. There is one more process where you go on be adding gold, and gold will melt into Mercury. At one point, it will become so saturated, no more gold will melt into that Mercury. Understand? It will just be saturated. It will be altogether a different metal at that time. I tell you, if you add Marana Smarana into your being, remembrance of death, so much shaking, detox, everything will happen. Finally, at one point, you will altogether become a different metal, kind of a joy and stability. You will feel the past is an amazing blessing. Your whole past was great or good. No question of bad. There is nothing bad. Then you will get the guts and courage, hope, joy, energy for future. Understand? The greatest renunciation, Tyaga, is renouncing the delusion. Your past was wrong and past is a load. You feel past is a load because in the present you are so immature and shivering with the death, the ideas of death, shivering and having panic attack about the change. Listen, life is for people who celebrate change, not just tolerate, celebrate change. You may think, what is this? How can Marana Smarana be related to planting my future, manifesting my future? You need to understand. What you feel about your past is the feeling you have about your life. If you feel very sweet and nice about the past, you will start contributing to people's life so much. And I tell you, I feel so much loved, cared, attended deeply inside me in my past by all of you. First, by my gurus, next, by my disciples. So this feeling gives me tremendous energy and inspiration, feeling supported. So that gives me the energy to work for all of you for future. I am very clear, I will be working for all of you continuously, day in, day out. I am not only celebrating the wild changes. I will be constantly working for all of you with lots of energy, enthusiasm, excitement. And first thing now I am building is evolving some of the most sweet, loving, caring people who feel past is a blessing. And either it was great or good. There is nothing wrong. That kind of a completion people who have that kind of a completion with themselves and the life and the world, then I can easily make them manifest Kailasa for them. Understand? I can easily make you manifest powers. If you feel the time you spent as the past, either great or good things only happened, nothing wrong has happened. See, I tell you, very, very important secret. Listen. When you are filled with sexual hormone, male hormone or female hormone, when it is in the brim level, overflowing, lust and fear both can shake you. When the sexual hormones are released, you will see neither lust nor fear will have a say over you. One more truth I wanted to tell you. In the dream, if you see the restroom, understand it's a trap, not restroom. In the dream, if you see the restroom and feel like going to the restroom, urinating, it's a trap, not restroom. You will be urinating on the bed. Say, it means what? If your bladder is full, it can manifest a whole restroom in your dream and make you feel very comfortable and safe and secured and make you urinate. Same way, if your hormones are full in your body, it can manifest a reasonless, absolutely cheap lust and make you act, function. When that hormones are not there suddenly, when they are released, suddenly you see the reality is different. I tell you, life is all about powerful cognitions you have inside. Life is all about the contribution you are doing to the world, to others. It has nothing to do with the fears you feel. Actually, nobody cares about the fears you feel. That's the truth. You should know. By showing fear, nobody is going to sympathize with you. It is not cute. People may, in front of you, just not to hurt you, they may show sympathy. Oh, sorry, I am feeling really sorry for you and all that. Just that side they will turn, They will either ease you, or they will forget you, or they will enjoy secretly your fears. I tell you, fear is not cute for yourself or for others. What is fear? Emotional shit. What is fear? Emotional shit. So, I tell you, reduce the fear to physical component. Don't give the fear the psychological power. Then you can never break fear. Fear is nothing but toxic shit sitting in your lower intestine. Understand? Listen to the lower intestine. Fear is nothing but the toxic shit sitting in your lower intestine. All you need is just marana smarana and detoxification. That's it. Just have marana smarana and detox. With all my feeling, love and responsibility for all of you, I'm telling you to do marana smarana, remembrance and consciously facing death. I tell you, you should never ever contemplate suicide. Suicide is the worst sin. In Hinduism, suicide is the worst sin. Suicide is neither allowed, you can't even think of suicide. When I say marana smarana, it is not thinking about suicide, it is contemplating, facing the fears triggered when you remember about death. Listen carefully. One of my sannyasini has sent a question to me. Can death be contemplated even in the level of identity also? Answer for her. Sit and contemplate where all you broke your integrity with Guru. Complete with Guru and realign with Guru. Bring the integrity back to your Guru and the commitment you gave it to your Guru and the relationship between you and your Guru. If you heal that, that's enough. That will take care of everything. Deep integrity and groundedness with Guru takes care of everything. I have so much to reveal from the Akashic records. I think today I have spoken with too much of force and power. Too many things I have shared. Today whatever I have spoken, if you just listen, internalize, easily you can manifest your future. Future is nothing but what you feel about the past. What you feel about the past only is going to manifest as future. If you feel glorious, joyful, golden about past, you will manifest that future. If you feel terrorized, shivering, shaken, beaten, abused, harassed by the past, in the past, you are going to reproduce that same thing in the future. See? That is why I am saying, do not try to imagine, visualize, verbalize, tell others that your past was worst. It's a lie. You also know. After a few days, you forget you are telling a lie and you start believing it's a truth. So I made these two statements. Contemplate on this. First statement I am making. Your life has nothing to do with what you do, and it is all about how you experience you, your consciousness. Second statement I am making. Life has nothing to do, life is everything about what you are contributing to others, not about what you feel about yourself. Both looks very contradicting or paradox. If you understand in both words, in both statements, I mean different truths, different level truths. First statement when I say you, I mean different. Second statement when I say you, I mean different. First statement when I say about you, I am talking about consciousness. Second statement when I am saying about you, it's about that selfish, too much of me. That powerlessness, weak selfishness. If you understand both statements, you will understand both mean same. Through both statements, I am revealing the same truth. I want all of you to do the Jivartha Sadas on these two statements. On these two statements. And today with this process, I want to break all the fears and take away all the toxins from your system. Fear is just physical toxin. Listen to what I am saying. Don't believe what the stupid society taught you. Society wants to bind you and keep you under bondage, so it teaches all shit to you. Fear is nothing but simple physical toxins sitting in your lower intestine. If you clean and detox yourself, all the fears will be lost and you will feel your past was never a load or harassment or abusal. It's a blessing. It has grown you. It has helped you to grow so much. And you evolve. You will realize that. Second, when you feel the past is great and the fear of death dissolves, you will not be afraid of changes. Being who is not afraid of changes enjoys glorious future. Glorious future. This all cosmic law I am revealing. Take all this cosmic legal opinion. You don't need to do separate spiritual practices. Just manifest all of these great truths. Now, for all my disciples, today's process is my personal gift. I will be like a Sarabeshwara by my deep breathing, prana. I'll just drive away all the fears from you guys. Understand? From last 1.5 hours, this whole satsanga I spoke. For all the visitors and viewers, it is a good knowledge. For sympathizers, wow, what a good teacher he is. That's all. For my disciples who declared your integrity to me, it's a boon I am giving you. For all my disciples, I am giving you the boon. I am spending my time only for my disciples. All my disciples sit now. I'll do spiritual process where I'll clean the whole shit and toxins in your system and destroy your fears. Listen. Now the 21 minutes is the time. I'm going to do the real work on you. Understand? For all my disciples, this is the boon I am giving. Forget about others. If you are integrated to me, declaring your integrity to me, the boon I am giving you now is I'll blast your Kundalini, ignite your Kundalini Shakti, awaken it, and detox you completely. Make all the toxins leave your system and make your fears irrelevant. Like I'll make you altogether different metal. Understand, I am not going to be solving your problem. I am going to make all your problems irrelevant to you. So listen. Sit straight. Close your eyes. Declare to yourself your integrity to Paramashiva and Guru, and decide you will face anything, any fear with the strength of the Guru, and I am committing with you. I'll be there with you for everything. I'll be there. I'll change the whole energy. Don't worry. For all my disciples, be very clear, I am Paramashiva. And I am talking to you, to my disciples. Paramashiva, me being Paramashiva is the relationship between you and me. Nobody else has a right to interfere in that. It's our personal relationship and understanding with each other. It is not the declaration for public. It is a declaration for my intimate people. I don't need to declare to everyone who I am. And I will reveal who I am to the people whom I love. Why should I reveal who I am to the fools? Stupid dash fellows. So, to all my disciples I declare I am Paramashiva and I will reveal me to you all. Now, by igniting your Kundalini, blasting your Kundalini, I will raise you, and with the grace of Paramashiva, I will connect you to Paramashiva, Sri KAILASA. Let's start. Sit straight. Chant Mahavagya intensely. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
கருணார்ணவமாய் கருதக்கதினல்கும் அருணாச்சல சிவனீரா. அதுவே தலம் அருணாச்சலம் தலம் யாவிலும் அதிகம். அது பூமியின் இதயம் அறி அதுவே சிவம் இதய பதியாமொரு மருணத்தலம் பதியாமவன் அதிலே பதிவானொளி மலையாய் நிதம் அருணாச்சலமெனவே. அருணாச்சல பேரற்புதலிங்கத்துருக்குள் ஆதிநாள் மார்கழியில் ஆதிரை ஜோதியும் ஈசனை நாம் அமரர் ஏற்றி வழிபட்ட நாள் மாசி சிவராத்திரியாம் தங்கி உருவாயும் மொழி நன்றியாக தங்களால் உலகம் தாங்குவதற்கன்று இறைவன் சித்தனென என்றும் எனதுள்ளே பொங்கி ஒளிரும் புகைப்பல் போகமொடு என்றுள்ளே தகையவியலால் புல்லாவினைகள் குணமாம் புகழீது இல்லாததுவாம் எது கண்ணுறலால் எல்லாரருணாச்சலமாம் இதுவே எல்லாரருணாச்சலமாம் இதுவே தெரியலை உற்று கண்ணுற்றால் கருத்தினால் ஊற கருதினால் உண்மை வருத்தமுறாது வராத வேதாந்த கருத்த விஞ்ஞானம் பார்க்கும் உண்டாமே அறுத்த விஞ்ஞானம் பார்க்கும் உண்டாமே யோசனை மூன்றாம் இத்தலவாசற்கு ஆசருதி கையாதியோமே ஆசமில் சாயுச்சியம் பயக்கும் ஈசனம் என்றன் ஆணையினானே ஈசனம் என்றன் ஆணையினானே கருணார்ணவமாய் கருதக்கதினல்கும் அருணாச்சல சிவனீரா அதுவே தலம் அருணாச்சலம் தலம் யாவில் அதிகம் அது பூமியின் இதயம் அறி அதுவே சிவன் இதய பதியாம் ஒரு அருணாச்சலம் பதியாம் அவன் அதிலே பதிவானொளி மலையாய் நிதம் அருணாச்சலம் எனவே அஜோதியேழும் ஈசனை நாம் நமவர் ஏற்றி வழிபட்ட நாள் சீசி ராத்திரியம்மக்கு தங்களருளால் உலகம் தாங்குவதற்கன்றே இங்குறைவன் சித்தமென என்றும் எனதுள்ளே பொங்கி ஒளிரும் புகைப்பல் போகமொடு என்றுள்ளே தகையவியலால் புல்லாவினைகள் குணமாம் புகழீது இல்லாததுவாம் எது கண்ணுறலால் எல்லாரருணாச்சலமாம் இதுவே மனம் என்பதே உனை நாடவே இசை பாடினோம் ஸ்ரீநாதா. தரும் நன்மைகள் வரும் கோடியே அதை நாடினோம் கோவிந்தா. கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா. கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா. அமர்கின்றவா ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ணா. சுகம் சேர்த்திடும் ஜெகநாதனே நலம் போட்டிடும் நாயகனே. இடம் தன்னிலும் பரம் தன்னிலும் அருள் சேர்த்திடும் ஸ்ரீதரனே. கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா. கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா. மனம் நின்றிடும் கேசவனே. குழல் ஊதிடும் இதழ் கொஞ்சிட குலம் காத்திடும் நாரணனே. உயர் மாமலை உன் கோயிலில் உளம் நின்றிடும் யாதவனே. கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா. கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா.
Kundalini, the Kundalini, wake up in all the bodies. Paramashivam calling you. The spine.
மனம் எங்கிலும் அருள் நாமமே தினம் பாடினோம் கோவிந்தா.
Reach the crowd.
பொருள் தந்திடும் புகழ் தந்திடும் எழில் வண்ணமே கோவிந்தா. உயர் மாநிலை கவிச்சும் வரம் தந்திடும் கோவிந்தா.
Fearlessness.
கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா.
Purity, energy, strength, joy, pure consciousness, and auspicious birth, death, past, future, and present.
ஸ்ரீநந்தா. மனம் என்பதே உனை நாடவே இசை பாடினோம் ஸ்ரீநாதா. தரும் நன்மைகள் வரும் கோடியே அதை நாடினோம் கோவிந்தா. கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா. கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா. அமர்கின்றவா ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ணா. சுகம் சேர்த்திடும் ஜெகநாதனே, நலம் போட்டிடும் நாயகனே. இதம் தன்னிலும் பரம் தன்னிலும் அருள் சேர்த்திடும் ஸ்ரீவரனே. கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, மனம் நின்றிடும் கேசவனே.
மனம் நின்றிடும் கேசவனே.
குழல் ஊதிடும் இதழ் கொஞ்சிட குலம் காத்திடும் நாரணனே.
குழல் ஊதிடும் இதழ் கொஞ்சிட குலம் காத்திடும் நாரணனே.
உயர் மாமலை உன் கோயில் குலம் நின்றிடும் யாதவனே.
உயர் மாமலை உன் கோவிலில் குலம் நின்றிடும் யாதவனே.
கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா.
கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா.
மனம் எங்கிலும் அருள் நாமமே தினம் பாடினோம் கோவிந்தா.
மனம் எங்கிலும் அருள் நாமமே தினம் பாடினோம் கோவிந்தா.
பொருள் தந்திடும் புகழ் தந்திடும் எழில் வண்ணமே கோவிந்தா.
பொருள் தந்திடும் புகழ் தந்திடும் எழில் வண்ணனே கோவிந்தா.
உயர் மாவிலை கதிச்சூரியம் வரம் தந்திடும் கோவிந்தா.
உயர் மாநிலை கவிச்சூரியன் வரம் தந்திடும் கோவிந்தா.
கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா.
கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா. கோகுலநந்தன கோபாலா, கோவர்த்தனனே கோபாலா. கோகுலநந்தன கோபாலா, கோவர்த்தனனே கோபாலா. கோகுலநந்தன ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா. கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா.
ஹரி மந்திரம் அருள் மந்திரம் தினம் ஓதினோம் ஸ்ரீநந்தா.
ஹரி மந்திரம் அருள் மந்திரம் தினம் ஓதினோம் ஸ்ரீநந்தா.
மனம் என்பதே உனை நாடவே இசை பாடினோம் ஸ்ரீநாதா.
மனம் என்பதே உன்னை நாடவே இசை பாடினோம் ஸ்ரீநாதா.
தரும் நன்மைகள் வரும் கோடியே அதை நாடினோம் கோவிந்தா.
தரும் நன்மைகள் வரும் கோடியே அதை நாடினோம் கோவிந்தா.
கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோபாலா.
கோவிந்தா ஹரி ஹரி கோவிந்தா.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. It's you all. Let's all manifest the state, space, powers. Being super consciousness and Sri KAILASA of Paramashiva. With this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhatvaita Saivam, Paramashivoham, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, the eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful.